Hello guys, this is the Hindu editorial episode of January 26th. For 1 week I couldn't do because I was not well, and so we are trying to catch up all the episodes which we missed, and hopefully in another 2 to 3 days we will be on track. So please subscribe to this channel because we are putting a lot of effort, all our faculty, in giving you lectures in both Hindi and English. So please see to that you're connected in Instagram also, because there we put a lot of motivational quotes and posts and many other things which is relevant for your exam. And if you are a very serious aspirant who is trying to clear this exam in 2022 itself, you have to start studying in a serious way, okay? Because now there is no other chance that after 90 days, after 60 days, there is no other time left, okay? Because earlier we used to launch like a 365 days timetable, then a 180 day timetable, 140 day timetable. That's all possible. But if you go less than 120 or 100 days, then it is not humanly possible to complete the entire syllabus. So this is your last chance, the last batch we are launching. Please see to it that you watch that video. If you don't have that video, please WhatsApp me. I'll give you the video link, and then you can immediately go through that and start studying the day one itself. Okay. So first we'll see the agenda of what are the articles for today, because there are many articles on Republic Day. So this, if you see this CHAKMA, HAIONG communities, okay, the Gorkha land and all these things. Based on that, there is a dispute. So this we'll see what is the thing. Then this is Burkina Faso, a country. There a military coup has happened. So in Africa, it's a very common thing that in every country some problems will be there. So we'll see this also, because it's, I think, first time coming in the Hindu now. Okay, in recent times. These two articles are about the Republic Day, its history, the Constituent Assembly, Ambedkar. Even though for prelims specifically you may not get points, but for mains there are excellent points in this. So we'll discuss both. So it will be a little lengthy, but we'll see. Okay, so all these four, I think for the first time I'm discussing all the four articles here, because everything seems relevant. Then here, if you see this IIT, there are certain controversies about the timeline of Indus Valley civilization and all. They were putting some new calendar, and there is a controversy. So this also we'll discuss. And then this is about the emissions and controlling them and all. So based on that also we'll see some article. And here it is about Hindutva, which is not needed for your UPSC exam or any exam for that matter. And the other one is about the elections. Okay. So Punjab, Manipur, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh election articles are coming a lot. So those kind of articles we will not discuss. So this is the agenda. It's a very interesting day to discuss articles. So please see to that you are watching it fully. Okay. Again, as I told, please WhatsApp me, and also go and subscribe Vysh Courses channel, because here every day in English and Hindi, non-editorial news items are covered, and we are hoping that like last year, this year also questions will come directly from this. Okay, so please watch them. And again, tell us in comment section under the particular things. We have got good feedback for most of our history lectures, so we are continuing all of them. Okay, so please see to that you are commenting under those respective lecture. When you tell like, okay sir, I am waiting for the next episode, or I watched all the previous episode, or given some feedback, then based on that we are taking it forward. Okay, like environment also, this one is getting huge response, polity is getting huge response. So all these things which has huge responses are being continued. Okay, economics also has very good response, so please watch it. Even a beginner can start studying from that. Okay. Mains lectures, most of them we have kept on halt because now the prelims is nearing, and MCQ series will start soon because again the prelims is nearing. Okay, and read these these FAQs, because most people ask these basic queries after watching it for the first time. So please read this, you will get answer to everything you have doubts. So first one is the HAIONG CHAKMA communities. So if you see National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, they have told or asked the Ministry of Home Affairs, okay, directed them to give a action taken report of how they are handling the communities, this CHAKMA and HAIONG communities in the northeastern state, that is Arunachal Pradesh. How are they being handled? Okay, so history, if you see, they actually are the people who fled their homes in the Chittagong Hill Tract. Okay, Chittagong Hill Tract is in the that times East Pakistan, that is present day Bangladesh. So from there was a construction of this Kaptai Dam on this Karna Fully River. Okay, so because this was going on, they had to flee their houses and they had to come and run towards India. Okay, so they came, they sought asylum in India. Okay, this is in the early 1960s. Okay, and they were settled in relief camps in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, and they got well integrated in the villages in the southern and eastern parts and all, and they have now become a part of that population itself. Okay, in 2015 the Supreme Court directed the state to grant them citizenship. Okay, but till now it's not implemented, so they are living there, but there is no proper identity. Okay, so in 1996 there was a earlier court judgment telling like the life and personal liberty of every CHAKMA residing within the state shall be protected. Okay, so the courts have always told in favor of these people only. Okay, now problem what happened is in August 2021 the Arunachal Pradesh chief minister announced that these people will be relocated outside the state, and the steps would be taken for a census of the communities, and this is clearly unwarranted. Okay, because all the courts, everybody has recognized them, they are living there. There are many people now living there since decades. People are born there in their community. So now suddenly relocating them outside the state, okay, that is not being well appreciated among the people, and also the National Human Rights Commission. Okay, so there are this nativist people, the local people there, the original people, they are also having campaigns and organizations against them, organized by this All Arunachal Pradesh Students Union. Okay, so these things are going on now. Even statements are being made by the Home Minister, okay, like the Ministry of State for Home. So if you see, it is difficult but not impossible for any state government in the Northeast to balance the interest of native tribal communities and those of legitimately settled refugees and their progeny, okay, their descendants. So it is difficult indeed, but it's not impossible to coexist. Okay, now special rights guaranteed in the Indian Constitution is there, okay, for protecting the tribal people, their habitat, their livelihood, and everything. Okay, so occasionally this is misinterpreted as favoring the tribal nativism with overblown demographic fears. Okay, so there are always this hatred or false things spread, like, okay, the others, outsiders are coming, taking your jobs, taking your rights, taking your area. So this kind of things are there which gets misinterpreted, but it is indeed possible to coexist. Okay, and political forces also has limited themselves. They don't indulge too much into this. They just ignore the issue, or so no action is, even though court gives orders, the action is not taken by the legislature. Okay, so now again uprooting these communities that fled their homeland, okay, because they fled their homeland under compulsion because of the dam construction and all. So now doing all this will be a violation of their rights and repeating a historic wrong. So a dialogue between the state government, civil society, and those of the CHAKMA HAIONG communities would go a long way in addressing concerns, meaning they should have a group kind of meeting, the state government, the civil society, and also these community leaders or whoever. They should all come together and try to implement the court judgment of 2015. Okay, rather than moving people here and there, you should try to follow the court. So implementing the NHRC directive should be the step in the process to reverse that course. Okay, so this hopefully will turn out to be a proper solution if they discuss and find a solution. Okay, so it's just a small article, but hope you got an idea of its history. Okay, how are they there now, how the people are there now. Now Burkina Faso is an important country here. If you see, it's a landlocked country, and here the prime meridian passes through it. Okay, the 0-degree longitude. So it's very, very important. Okay, so this country, there is a military coup, and you know, most of the African countries have that problem now. And these are very interesting lines. If you see, Africa is the only continent through which Tropic of Cancer, Equator, and Tropic of Capricorn, and the prime meridian, all the 4 lines pass through Africa. Okay, there is no other continent which can have this kind of thing because of the sizing and the placement in the world map. Okay, so you should know that. Also, you should know all the countries which pass through Tropic of Cancer. Even India is one of them. Then within India also, which are the states which pass through Tropic of Cancer, then Equator, which all countries it pass through, then Tropic of Capricorn, which all countries pass through. If you see, this will go through South America, will be there in the left side, Australia will be there in the right side. So imagining the map itself, you will get an idea like which all will be passing through what all. Okay, so here if you see, around 7 to 8 countries are there which passes through the prime meridian. That also I'll show you as an extra knowledge. Okay, so here if you see UK, Greenwich, Greenwich Meridian Time we call. So from there it starts. So it will go. Then here France and Spain. So in Europe, 3 countries: UK, France, and Spain. Then Africa it enters through Algeria. Then this Mali, this Burkina Faso, which is a small country here. Then Togo and Ghana. And then down it will go and it will hit Antarctica also. So how many continents it's passed through? If you see, it passed through 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Europe, Africa, and Antarctica. 3 this thing. Same like that. I think all the lines. If you take Tropic of Cancer also, it will be passing through at least 3 continents. Equator also will be passing through at least 3 continents. Tropic of Capricorn also at least 3 continents. So go and find out all these things. Okay, these are all there in my geography test series. That's why I told you, if you enroll to my test series, it's a guarantee that any doubt which you get, this kind of factual doubts, prelims doubts, everything will be solved. Okay, but you have to simply sit and study. Okay, some people simply buy the test series and pile it up. Such people don't enroll. Others who are really wanting to study, I guarantee you 100% high quality materials, and you will be clearing this exam if you study it. Okay, so now let's move forward about this article. So Burkina Faso, once known as one of the most stable countries in West Africa. Okay, there this jihadist violence and all have started since 2015. Okay, so this coup happened, a military coup happened. This mutinous soldiers overthrew the democratically elected government. Okay, he is the president, he is overthrown. Okay, because there was some instability and all, government is not able to tackle all the jihadist thing and all. So military thought of taking over. Okay. He was elected, actually the president was elected in 2015. That is the same time when this jihadist like Al Qaeda, Islamic State, all these people were expanding in the Sahel region. Okay, try to find out which all countries are there in the Sahel region, that is the North African region. So Sahel region. Okay, so now this landlocked country bound by Mali and Niger, here both sides Islamic violence was there. And last 7 years, if you see, 2000 people have been killed, 1 million people have been displaced. Okay, military and large sections of civilians saw this government as ineffective, corrupt, and out of touch of the ground reality. And last 2 years, corona also is happening, and then people are having economic problems also. So overall, it is very like what is a very pathetic situation there. Okay, and this is the capital city. If you see this Ouagadougou, okay, this is a very big spelling. If you see, this one is the capital city of this Burkina Faso. So there also mutiny is happening, and there the soldiers have moved and taken over the presidential palace. Okay, now West Africa, series of successful coups there in the recent months only. We have discussed most of them. Okay, like in this Guinea is there, Mali, then this Chad, then the Sudan. Everywhere military has taken over. The president is either killed or president is overthrown, or somebody else is funding them. Many ways, the normal democratic republic, whatever they have, that is all destroyed there. Okay. Now, the ease with which the generals capture power in this country should be a warning to other elected governments also. Okay, because so easily they are capturing it. So that means every other country also should be aware of this and should be predicting that something like that can happen to them also. Okay. And these military leaders initially will promise like, okay, we'll conduct elections, we'll have many like proper government stability, everything. But later when they become greedy for power, okay, they want to have a grip on power, and they try to continue the military rule itself. Okay. So the story of Burkina Faso is not so different, and the same thing is happening there also. And here, the protesters and all initially welcomed all these things because they thought the people were fed up all these things, the jihadist violence, state inability, corruption. So they thought the men in uniform, they will come and give better security. Okay, but they were also power hungry people. Okay, and then now this is all short lived, and the coups are hardly a solution to many crises the country faces. Okay, so there is a lack of political legitimacy, and it's a military rule, and they are also facing like all the other countries which are facing military crisis there. Okay, so now next two articles are on republic. So a lot of polity, factual things will be there. If you want, you can note down. I have underlined most of them. So preamble to the constitution declares that India is a republic. Okay, so it is an integral part of the India's political identity. Okay, and this is not just descriptive, it is a strong ethical normative claim. Okay, we actually believe in that, and we should be it should be meant to consistently aspire for. Okay, if we divert from that, then it will be like something which we are doing wrong. Okay, we'll feel regret and we'll have to make amendments. So we have to aspire to be a republic entire life. Okay, if our political identity loses its republican character, we must quickly act to restore it. Okay, so if you see, every January 26th since 1950, we celebrate this founding moment. And this parade, the rituals, everything which we have, this will become meaningless if we don't have that spirit. Okay, we should feel that spirit. We should know why we are celebrating Republic Day, what is the importance of it. Okay, because Constitution also came into effect on that day. So it's very important that we understand what is Republic and what is its significance. That is what we are discussing here. Okay, so the idea of Republic is actually anti-monarchical. Okay, the Greeks defined monarchy as a rule of one. Okay, this monarchy means rule of one, a form of government where one person rules and others obey. One is sovereign, all others is subjects. That is the idea of generally about monarchy. So anti-monarchy is what is called republic. Usually we associate this hereditary rule when we tell monarchy, the kingdom. In our mind, only things come as the Maharajas and Maharanis and all the kings and all. But in Greek definition, it is referring to the modern day dictators also. It is anything which is anywhere somebody, one person is ruling or one unit is ruling, one party is ruling, that everything is considered as kind of monarchy or dictatorship, and something against that or opposite to that is called republic. This is the basic definition. Okay, now what is wrong with the rule of one person? Why fear rule one person? This is a very good article for writing an essay also. Okay, if a question comes on republic explanation on essay, then you can use this. It's given in a proper side heading format and question answer format type. This is exactly how you have to write an essay also. You have to have a question, then an answer, but bullet points need not be needed all the time, but it will be a good format. Now, perhaps the most bad thing about this monarchy system is subjects people to the whim and fancy of one person. Meaning one day he will like us and he will give us some land grant or some reward or some jewelry. Next day his mood will be bad. He will withdraw the grant. He'll put us in jail. So everything is in like one person. So it's like a godlike thing. He becomes the judge and jury. He makes and execute laws. He decides when they are violated, rewards, punishment, everything as per his pleasing and his mood. He will be deciding that. All these decisions affect us are taken without discussion. mysteriously, privately, and expressed as revealed truth. The entire decision-making process remains close to his chest. So there is no transparency at all. There is no accountability. Nobody is going to question him. So this potential which a one person has, this is the arbitrary power, and this is what people fear of. Okay, and so against that only we need a republic. Now, what alternate does a republic offer? So republic, again, the English word where this word comes from. This comes from this Latin word called res publica, that is the public thing, meaning it is a common public thing. This translates in the political domain into decision making in the open, in full view of all. So everything taken in the public sphere, the decisions making in the public sphere, that is what is an element of republic. So what is good for community, what is in collective interest. So after discussing, debating, deliberating upon them, they reach decisions about which laws to have and what course of action to take. A republic is government by free and open discussion. So these are the same thing. Republic is told in different statements. Okay, so this is how an essay or an answer you build up, because most students think like when somebody asks republic, we can maximum write a small paragraph or half a page. But how to expand the same topic, but still the examiner will find interest in reading, that is the skill of answer writing, and that you will develop by doing editorial every day. Okay. The contrast between monarchical and republic form of government, if you see, in monarchy we have to live at the mercy of the master, and it breeds slavery. So about slavery also they are telling few lines here. Those who live for long period under subjections of others tend to develop slavishness, a mental torpor, a mental inactivity, difficult to dismiss. Meaning when you are working under the same person for a long time, you have a habit or tendency to become a slave. So without the capacity to think for themselves or take decisions. So now Gandhi's idea of Swaraj, they are telling us a very good example of republic. Okay, so how we'll see how. Because Gandhi's idea of Swaraj was to challenge not only the political colonization by the British, but the colonization of our mind also. Meaning that anti-slavery thing should come in your mind. So it has a direct meaning to republic concept also. Okay, so the republic, its alternative is strongly associated with freedom. To have a republic is to have free people. So Gandhi Swaraj is an important republican idea. Okay, this exactly can come as a UPSC question. Gandhi Swaraj is an important republic idea, justify. So you can get points from here itself. Okay, now emphasize the importance of citizenship also. Because to be a citizen is to belong to a political community where one can express oneself and act freely. Okay, if you are not like citizen, then you are just mere subjects. Okay, you are just people there. You are not having any proper rights which every citizen is enjoying. So they are connecting the idea of Gandhi Swaraj, citizenship, freedom, anti-slavery, everything is republic. Okay, now political liberty means not unbridled freedom to do whatever one pleases. Negative liberty. Okay, because when you tell I will do whatever I want, that is not proper liberty. Okay, that is like kind of negative liberty, because you cannot go and kill a person and tell like I have the freedom, I have the liberty. Okay, so it is to live by laws made by citizens themselves that are product of their own will, not the arbitrary will of others. Meaning the laws which is there, which is governing them, that laws also they should make, or their representative should make. Okay, so now slowly we'll be seeing like democracy and republic almost means the same thing only, but that how it's different also, that we'll see in the next slide. Okay, now the phrase we the people in the constitution is not mere literary embellishment, but central to a republican constitution. Okay, so when we tell we the people, it is again referring to republic. Now the willingness to live by self-made regulations but enforced by public power or the state also means that those who value a republic are not against states. Okay, because republic doesn't mean you don't want to live in a state and you want all complete freedom, don't want anyone to be governing you. That is not the correct thing. There are regulations, there are power, there is public, there is state, there is government, but everything you will yourself elect. Okay, so republic doesn't mean go against state. It is like a state where you are making the rules. Okay, so now if you see republic covers all that is meant by the term democratic also. Okay, so that time in Constituent Assembly when this discussion was going on, Ambedkar and others, the word republic, since it contains the word democratic, it may be unnecessary to use both. Okay, that they had a discussion that time. Then even French, if you see in their tradition, they interchangeably use these two words, republic and democracy. They use like interchangeably. There is no much difference. Yet later, Ambedkar, Jawaharlal Nehru, everybody discussed and told that there can be undemocratic republic also possible. So we need the word democracy and republic both. Okay, a separate commitment to democratic institution is necessary. So we called, if you know in our preamble starting, it was a sovereign democratic republic. Okay, later only we added secular and social and all, but before that it was a sovereign democratic republic. So they understood that both are needed because an undemocratic republic is also possible. Now the decision was correct. It was wise to keep them both in the preamble. And if you see, narrow criterion of who counts as a citizen. Now if you see, after you have the preamble also, after you have the term republic also, why democracy is important, that they're just giving examples, okay, of how this undemocratic republic concept is working. They are giving examples of ancient Roman, ancient Indian, and ancient Greece. In ancient Roman republics and all, it was not inclusive. Everybody was not inclusive. In ancient India, there were some clan republic and all, but it was not democratic. Okay, people are not electing the rulers, or such things were not there. We were republics, but we were not democratic. In ancient Greece also, slaves, women, foreigners, they were not considered citizens itself. They were not part of any decision making. So all these had republic concept in them, but they did not have democratic concept in them. There was a narrow definition of the term citizen. Okay, so this is explaining the term which I told, undemocratic republic. So Greek thinkers, democracy had a negative connotation precisely because it was believed in involved everyone, including the mob. Okay, so Greek thinkers and all earlier wasn't not in support of that. Democracy brings into our constitution citizenship available to everyone, regardless of their wealth, education, gender, perceived social ranking, religious, race, all these things. So democracy brings in all these things. And here if you see, no one is excluded from citizenship. For example, all have the right to vote. Citizens must at least have the right to properly be informed. Okay, because there will be some practical reasons. Sometimes we will tell, okay, like people in the jail or people convicted, he cannot vote or he cannot stand in election. Some rules will be made, but why that rule is made, that should be properly informed also. They should have the right to properly have information, seek transparency, accountability from the government. The government should be answerable to citizen. So that exception also they have told here. Okay, the republic must at the very least have perpetually vigilant or alert citizens who act as watchdogs. Republic brings free public discussion to our democratic constitution. It gives depth to our democracy. So if you see, they are again going round and round on the same thing, but they are giving points in an interesting fashion. So representative of the people be properly deliberated, remain open to scrutiny, and be publicly, legally contested. Farmers came out of the streets to peacefully challenge the farm laws. Okay, so that is the latest example. So in your answer also, you should quote something like latest example. So here they are exercised not only their democratic rights, but also exhibited the highest of republican virtues also. Okay, so this is a prime example of an event which happened in India, which is justifying this thing that people have the right for republic and democracy. So one more article is there, which I'll quickly discuss. So since it's the Republic Day, they gave this one more article. So here if you see, they are again telling promote equality, brotherhood, and it's the 73rd Republic Day, because 1950 plus 22 is now 2022, and 1950 that year itself is one, so that is why 73. Okay, so the Republic Day started on this thing, January 26, 1950, and that history and all, hopefully you will know. January 26, 1930, Jawaharlal Nehru had hoisted the flag and all for Purna Swaraj, so that is why that day was chosen. Okay, so on the day our constitution came into force, and we became the sovereign democratic republic. And that time, we know, Constituent Assembly was there, 7-member committee headed by chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and they had like discussion for 2 years, 11 months, 18 days, and that is 11 sessions, and that is how they came up with the constitution. Okay, and it was adopted on November 26, 1949, but we made it enforced or enacted in this particular date. Okay, after 2 months. Now, Swaraj finally bore fruit, and the supremacy of the sovereign will of the sovereign will of the people was truly established. So that is a very important day in our Indian history. So Constituent Assembly, they had two roles. One was framing this constitution. Another one was act as the legislature, meaning act as the parliament. Okay, we did not have the parliament that time. The first parliament came later only. And also the Constituent Assembly of India acted as the first parliament for independent India, and the people, the speaker, like Lok Sabha as a speaker, that time two people were there. When it was meeting as an assembly, where you're making the constitution and all, Constituent Assembly, that time Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the chair, okay, or the speaker kind of thing. And this Mavlankar, he presided over the speaker when the house was meeting as a legislature, meaning when you're making laws or something, that time he is the speaker. So this is all there in your Lakshmikant textbook also, but Hindu has mentioned it, that's why I'm underlining and showing you. And then later, after the first general election in 1951-52, we had the new parliament. Okay, so May 13, 1952 was a historic date when the first sitting of the newly elected first Lok Sabha happened. And that time Indian population was around 36 crore citizens. Okay, it's in 1952 I'm telling. And later over the years, we grew our population, 100 crore extra came, so now it's 135 crore. And Constitution has upheld all our hopes and aspirations, and also it's like a guiding light to build a strong and great country. So then again, after that, we had this institutions, democratic traditions. We are celebrating 75 year of independence. We have ensured that inclusivity is there, participation of all the SC, ST, women, tribal, everyone, marginalized section, everybody is included. And so we have done a good job so far. Okay, because compared to other small countries where only maybe the size is even the size of Indian states, and they have only maybe one religion, still they are all fighting. Okay, we have seen different articles where in Africa or the Middle East and all, they are just one country and still they are fighting. So compared to that, such a big country we have taken so successfully in the last 75 years. Okay, so Parliament has played a very good role in all-round development of the nation, and so it is like a overall what is a good things only have been told in this article. Okay, and now the latest one. Okay, they're connecting to the what is happening now. A national portal is being planned. This is actually to ensure that all the legislative practices, all the MPs, everyone are doing a good job. Okay, so they are going to, this portal is going to provide support for the capacity building of the MPs. The research support is being provided to the members to help them participate better. So a dedicated parliamentary research team is going to be set up. Okay, so this will help to reform and strengthen the parliament committee system. Our goal is to make legislatures a forum where meaningful, positive, and result-oriented discussions are happened. Okay, because you see, most of the people are either not coming there properly, absent it will be, or when they come also, they are not participating in meaningful content. Simply shouting around will be happening. So all this is going to change if you do research support and this kind of research team support is given. Okay, so review laws that were enacted during the pre-independence era. Okay, this also is done. You know, many laws, old laws are all we are repealing, and we are combining many laws together, whether labor codes or women related, everything. We had a lot of olden laws that and all we are now removing, and we are bringing new laws to suit the present context. Okay. So Republic Day is an occasion for people's representatives and all citizens of this proud nation to reaffirm faith in the ideals enshrined in our constitution. Okay. So Ambedkar told in this November 4, 1948 in the assembly, basis of constitutional morality is to hold the values enshrined in the constitution as a paramount. Okay. So it's an occasion to contemplate as citizens our responsibility in the diligent discharge of our duties. Okay, because this even Prime Minister told recently that everybody fights for the fundamental rights and all the rights and all, but nobody is knowing about their duties. There are a lot of fundamental duties, legal duties, constitutional duties which you have to do. So this is a day that you should take a decision that you will take care of the duties as well. Okay, so this will bring happiness, prosperity, better quality of life, and this will even keep up the vision of the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so hope it's clear. This, if you see, it's a controversial thing, IIT and history timeline. So IIT Kharagpur, you know, that is the first IIT to be commissioned. Jawaharlal Nehru had given the convocation address. So that time he told this is a fine monument of India and it is like India's future in the making. Okay, this building is representing India's future in the making. So premier IITs, even though we had a lot of brain drain and people moving out of other things, people are not interested in engineering, they are moving to other job. Everything is there, but still premier IITs continues to have a transformative presence in India's technical and science education system. Okay, so Nehru was indeed right while telling IITs are India's future in the making. Okay, so now strangely what happened is it is not in news for these things, for good things. It is there because it is distorting our past. They are giving or issuing some historical calendars telling that the history is wrong. So if you see here, 2022 new calendar came in which is titled the recovery of the foundation of Indian knowledge systems. It is having distorted ideas. They are telling that Aryans are not people who came later during the Rigvedic time. They were already here. They were the custodians of the Indus Valley civilization, and they have been active for more than 10,000 years. And they then later spread to westward, meaning they're telling something called out of India theory. Okay, meaning everything started in India and then these people moved out of India. So this is actually wrong. Okay, such revisionism flies in the face of all the evidence, meaning it is against all the evidence. We have this archaeogenetics, archaeological, linguistics, zoological, botanical, geographical, theological, all the evidence it is going against now. Okay, so evidence informs us that Harapans were the ones who were, associated. They were starting there, and then 7,000 to 2000 BC they were there. They were spread from Indus River, Kutch, Saurashtra, Balochistan, Makran coast in west. All these places were like ruled or not ruled, were occupied by Indus people. Okay, they had a well laid township. They had good system of water. They had bullock drawn carts, and they were centered on farming. These are all things which we have proof actually. And later maybe some rainfall or something heredity, some problem came, and because of that they declined. Okay, the decline is the only thing which is not clear till now, but there are various conclusions to it at least. So these are all with the proof the people are telling. Okay, there is archaeological evidence. So we also know the Rigvedic people entered the Indian subcontinent through present day Iran and Afghanistan. Okay, these people who were pastoral migrants and their grazing animals, including horses, came in from the Eurasian steppes into the Indus Valley region. Okay, so this is the idea which we have through the proof. So here, even archaeologists are telling me Harappans met their end not with an American bang, but with the Indus expatriates whimper, meaning their own some problem it was there. It's not like because of the Aryans. Okay, so now if you see, they then later whoever came encouraged caste-based social hierarchy, allowing the resourceful newcomers to dominate and forcing the earlier settlers to be marginalized and migrate possibly southwards. Meaning the Harappan people, either they all died and they marginalized and became a small community, or they all migrated southwards. And also there are excavations in this place, the Sekiradi in Tamil Nadu, where there is proof, evidence that the extended spread of non-Vedic culture, meaning maybe the Harappan people and all who was non-Vedic, they had moved towards South India and they were present. Such evidence is also there. Okay, so now if you see this scientific proof, okay, DNA when they compare the mitochondrial DNA, that is some group called R1A1A, okay, R1A1A, okay, this one is a mitochondrial DNA. Some of the social groups in India share a common genetical ancestral lineage with Eastern Europeans. Okay, so it is suggested that a halogroup R1A1A mutated out of a halogroup R1A in the Eurasian steppe about 14,000 years ago. Thus, these studies support the out of East European steppes theory. Okay, like this is the original theory which they have proof for. But now, as I told, the IIT people are telling it is not out of East European steppes, it is actually out of India. Okay, they are telling everything started here and people moved from here to there. But original evidence is that people were there in Europe and they came from there to here. Okay, so, original form of Indo-European languages also, it was first spoken in Eastern Europe, and that is their original homeland. And those people got out of Eastern Europe, then like nomads, they moved from their homeland and they went to this Caspian area, Caspian Sea and all, Caspian grasslands. From there, they tamed horses, goats, and dogs, and then learned to build horse-drawn chariots, essential for nomadic life. And around 1900 BC, these people broke up, and one group proceeded towards what is now Iran, and other to India. This is the scientific proof which people have come to conclusion for years. Okay, they entered India around 1500 BC, established a dominant civilization. Okay, and these older Harappan settlers, they were marginalized and moved to the south, and some even moved to central India, some moved to Balochistan. This is what happened. Now the newly settled people, the so-called Aryans, they worshipped fire, and they were not builders like the Harappans. Okay, they were not in like building cities and all. They were more like better storytellers. Okay, this is the overall idea which we have in every history textbook. Now there are other scientific papers also where the genetic trail of these hunter gatherers or these Iranian farmers, pastoralists, they were being trying to track. Okay, so they explain how they may have intermingled to become the makers of some of the world's earliest civilizations. So the people who were going their path has been trying to be tracked, and that is also being proved. And there was a skeleton of a woman 5,000 years old, Indus Valley civilization settlement also in Rakhi Gari, which is in Haryana. There also the lineage when you track, okay, of these people, the DNA from the skeleton of this shows no detectable ancestry from the steppe pastoralist or from Anatolian Iranian farmers, suggesting farming in South Asia arose from local foragers rather than the large scale migration from the west. So, this kind of skeletons are being recovered here and there. So, that also gives you thing like, okay, there is no ancestry from here and there. There are people who were like Harappan and they moved southwards, or there are people who came from outside. For everything, DNA kind of evidence is every time found. Okay, so one single thing, they don't anyway take it like a characteristics of entire population. But for every case, we have got DNAs and skeletons. Okay, so likely that there could be more genetic commonality between earlier settlers from Africa and the Harappan people. Okay, so that also they have connections. Okay, African people and earlier Harappan people. Now this January calendar, IIT calendar, they are telling things which is against all these evidences. Here they are telling also the rivers of the Rig Veda, they are sourced to Shivalik ranges. But the Shivaliks are low altitude southernmost hill ranges where major no rivers are sourced. Okay, so whatever we know scientifically, that is being objected by IIT's calendar. Okay, so this is like a kind of false messaging, and this is going to get an impact on the future generations also. Okay, and this retreat of reason, free inquiry, everything will go away. If this is the kind of knowledge which they are going to impart to the future generations, then whatever scientific proof are there, everything will be distorted. Okay, so this is kind of mystification of fact. Okay, even the karmic rebirth and all these things, they are telling like it was not part of Vedic tradition. Later in I think Buddhist, Jainist streams, that is when it later came, and then from there it was taken to Upanishads. So whatever we knew all these years, against that, for everything, this IIT has been publishing. Okay, that is the whole controversy. So you need not learn everything, but few things, whatever is in the Hindu mentioned, I told you. Now, this is the last article, just one or two slides. So India's emissions, okay. So we had this Paris deal and all these things, and 1.5 degrees Celsius, it should not increase the temperature, global average global temperature. But with the current policies in place, it will cross even 2 degrees Celsius. Okay, even though many countries are telling, like in the COP26 also, which recently happened in Scotland, that net zero pledges and all these things will happen. It is not looking good, okay, the way things are going, because India also, huge unemployment is there. Then we are looking for more investment, we are going towards more manufacturing, Atmanirbhar Bharat, all these things. So we are going to go have an increasing emissions anyway. Okay, so India's economic growth, which is till now led by service sector, now will slowly move to manufacturing. Okay, because it was service sector, we had lesser or very significantly lower emissions till now. But can we do this low emission footprint when we switch to investment led manufacturing? That is what being questioned. So solution for that, they are telling something called green industrialization strategy. Okay, so India will have to strive to reach this net zero emissions by 2070, as announced by Prime Minister. But for that, we need short, medium, and long term guiding strategies. Okay, we need a green industrialization strategy. We need to encourage private sector investment. We have to have high level of policy support to deploy renewable energy, industrial policy efforts, then uh, academic research. Okay, policies to develop local innovation capabilities, create most job opportunities. Because in China and all, if you see, they always have this techno industrial policy. It's not like simply physical work or put a lot of people into some industry and make them work. They'll always have a technical policy also. They'll have something where they look for how the local people will get job, how the R&D can be improved, the research and development, how manufacturing, everything can be connected with the latest technology, and how the everything, renewable energy, everything can match with the global thing, global standards. They take care of everything. That is why they create more domestic opportunity than India. Okay, so India could have retained some of the jobs if it were strategic in promoting these technologies. Okay, so they're giving examples. Korean's green growth strategy is there. USA's Endless Frontier Act, which passed in 2021, this is there. So everybody are investing in R&D, and they are, that is why, succeeding faster than India. So decarbonization modeling studies are also happening. So India already, when the world was building this solar photovoltaic cells and new innovations, India lost the bus already. India is like cannot catch up there. Okay, but now in decarbonization sector, in all these things, India has a significant opportunity. So India should invest more in R&D and in more green technologies. And we even now have this production linked incentive scheme, PLI scheme, which is appreciated by everyone in the world. So that if you take it properly in all the sectors, then we can have quantum jumps. Okay, now we have incremental changes, we can have quantum jumps in our economic activities. Okay, so aligning existing R&D investment with the technology needed for green industrialization, that is crucial. Okay, so and India also should nurture private entrepreneurship and experimentation in clean energy technologies. So overall, this only strategize and make proper policies so that we can have quantum jumps. This is the overall idea. Okay, so development focused and aim to extract economic and employment rent from decarbonization. So there should be not like international pressure is there and we are like forcefully taking decisions. We should have our own things, and we should not postpone also the investment in these technologies. We should do it everything faster, but we should not succumb to international pressure. Okay, India should set its place based on its ability to capitalize on the opportunities to create wealth through green industrialization. Okay, so same thing, negative carbon space, make R&D investment. So hope it was a little lengthy, I know, but all the articles are important. That's why I couldn't skip anything. And again, when I do the quiz session, try to answer the questions so that I understand that you are getting an idea of what we are discussing. Okay, and mains questions also, I'll be deciding a lot from today's sessions because it was more main oriented. And subscribe to both these channels. I'll come with the next episode. Thank you.